So before we go any further, I must make one thing clear. And the thing I want to make clear is the distinction between an introduction and a referral. In this program, you're not going to be asking for referrals. I know this might sound confusing because every other business growth program you've ever been in, the whole objective was to get as many referrals as possible. But what I'd like to tell you is that referrals don't hold a light to introductions. And the reason is that there's a real distinction between them. And one, referrals oftentimes, see, when I ask my clients how they feel when they ask for referrals, oftentimes the responses I get are somewhere along the lines of, I feel selfish, I feel greedy, I've even heard I feel whorish, because they're asking for something when oftentimes they haven't provided the level of value, or that there's something missing there. And here's the other thing about referrals, is oftentimes a referral is when you're given a name and a number of somebody that your client or your friend wants you to talk to or thinks might work well with you. And it's up to you to follow up with that person. Now, if you get past the first 20 seconds of that phone conversation when you call them up, you might stand a chance to make an appointment with that person. But with an introduction, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to meet these people. Because what happens with an introduction is actually the third party is present. Or somehow that person actually connects the two of you. And what happens in an introduction is there's a transfer of trust. When the three of you sit down for dinner, or the three of you go hang out and play a round of golf, or even the three of you are out kayaking somewhere, right? There's a few things that happen in an introduction that doesn't happen with a referral. And one of those things is what I just mentioned a second ago, and there's a baton of trust transferred, right? So when the three of you are together, your friend trusts the person they're introducing you, we'll call them the introductee, and your friend or client also trusts you. So if you think about it, if you've ever seen relay races, right, there's that baton that they pass off. Essentially that's what happens. The baton gets passed between your friend slash client, right, to the introductee and to you. So there's now an increased level of trust. Also what happens because of that, there's also an increased opportunity there that you'll actually end up doing business with these people. The third thing is that there's an increased level of relatability. Now, I mentioned different activities. A lot of times with introductions, the way that you'll meet these people is by some hobby, interest, or some shared experience will be the event or circumstances which you end up doing having the introduction. So with that, increased level of trust, increased level of relatability, and increase in the likelihood that you'll actually end up doing business together. There is the distinction between referral and introduction.